Whoa, whoa, whoa. Stop right there. This channel is not intended for kids under the age of 13. So if you're under the age of 13, please leave.
Hey everybody, Arthur here with another unboxing video. Today we have G.I. Joe Classified Series Scarlet, and it comes in that typical G.I. Joe Classified Series packaging, and we get the amazing artwork of Scarlet right here. On the left side of the box, we got that amazing artwork still, and I love how they captured her, skills and her, abilities, which is sort of some pictures. So it has her doing some martial arts and also her looking like she's in some sort of Spec Ops outfit. So it's just showing her skills and abilities. And then there is the modern looking Scarlet right now with that iconic crossbow. And then we also at the bottom have her paradropping in and kicking a alley viper in the face. So that's really cool. So she has skills as a airborne, I guess, soldier. And she has the martial arts skills and she has Spec Ops skills. So all the different abilities and background that she has made her into what she is. And I mean, that explains why she's hanging out and usually fighting alongside Snake Eyes a lot. Scarlet is number 5, and then this is the new profile card system. If you guys never watched my other G.I. Joe reviews, these are the new file cards. You can go to G.I. Joe's website and really see what she's good at. On the back of the box, we got some Alley Vipers, Cobra Commander, Baroness, all the figures basically we've gotten already in a bunch of vehicles that we hope to maybe get, especially those Trouble Bubbles. And it's just awesome artwork. I keep focusing on it on every figure because I love this. I would love to have this in a poster form. And I can't wait to get some Alley Vipers. Now, Scarlet comes with a couple knives, and we get one that is in this style. It's all casted in black, sculpted pretty nicely. I mean, it's a knife. Scarlet comes with a pair of these knives. They're identical knives, sculpted pretty nicely. And, I mean, again, they're knives. Now, you can't be Scarlet without one of her more iconic pieces, and that is her crossbow, which is sculpted very nicely, actually. We get a lot of sculpted detail on it. Even some thought with the optics on top. It looks like you got your magnifier that can flip out of the way, revealing like an EOTech holographic right there. So a lot of detail, thought, looks pretty awesome. And you got this pulled back, but besides that being pulled back, you can actually pop this apart and then just have the two separate pieces if you want to. But still, really, really nice piece. And I'm glad that they didn't forget about it. Up close, Scarlet looks awesome. I love the eyes that they did. They added freckles and everything. Her face looks good. I mean, they added a little bit more character than just having a female face with red hair. And she does have some earrings in there, which look pretty nice. Her hair sculpted pretty nice. When you rotate it around, she even has a little bit of, it's almost like a dry brushing, like a lighter color right there. Hair in the ponytail. Since we're looking at the back anyway, we got the quiver that's loose. Got a little shoulder pad. The gauntlets and everything. I love this design. And for all you haters out there, they're like that when this thing was announced, that's not Scarlet. That's not the original Scarlet. It's not vintage enough for me. This is not Scarlet. Well, if you read the comics, this is really inspired by the Devil's Due G.I. Joe comics of Scarlet, and I think they did a good job. I mean, I would prefer her to have the Devil's Due style than to have her in that like weird onesie corset type of outfit. Because, I mean, if you look at it, it's like a bathing suit over like a onesie, because yeah, she just has like the weird bathing suit part here, and then yeah, it just looks goofy. But I like this. I like the armor. There's a little sheath on the front for one of those knives with some red on it. Got the communicators right there, if it'll focus there. And the red paint on this is not painted the greatest. On the sheath it's all right. You can see sort of up on the shoulder it's a little bit rough. And the gold and the yellow work. And again, it's cool how they added these like throwing stars, which you can see they were not painted the greatest. The silver should have been shifted, or it wasn't lined up. Even got some gold on the yellow. Come on. Cool little blue accents. I guess those would like probably glow or something like that. just overall, you know, nice little texture that you can see on her undershirt and stuff. The zipper. I really like how they went all out with the texture stuff. We get a floating belt as well. Gold painted buckle. Belt has pouches and stuff. It looks cool. Even has texture, looking like it's leather and everything. And getting down to her hips, and their big old thick hips. So, you know, Scarlet be thick. And got the armor right there, painted gold. Looks pretty good. You know, got that blue area too. And again, the red around just is sort of just sloppy. They like gave up on the red, I guess. And get little thrusters or something on the back. But they did paint the bottom. Maybe it's not sloppy. Maybe it's just, yeah, that's just the parts of the toes, because it's the same on both sides. I don't know. But overall, I do like the look of this Scarlet a lot. Now it's time to dive into some articulation. Her head can look down quite a bit, and it shifts. Looking up, she can look up. Her hair is sort of pliable, so she can look up a little bit, but the hair pushes it back down. Lots of attitude, and that is because this one, if you angle it just right, it sort of has lollipop syndrome. Not as bad as some of the other figures I've seen, but it's definitely there, and, you know, gives you a lot of movement. And there is some neck movement in there too, so you got the movement down in the body for that neck. Now the arms can go up that far because of the shoulder. They didn't. This is the before the Baroness. Baroness has shoulder pads that sort of don't get in the way. This is before they figured out that method. So the angle goes that far, and on this side you would think it would get better angle, and it sort of does, but not really. Then we get a single jointed elbow, pivot at the elbow, wrist rotation, but you can see the wrist bends in the wrong direction. Should be going the other way, which they did for this one, but the way it's designed, you really can't. I'm not able to get any angles because of the cuff or something. It just won't bend. So that's a disappointment right there. Then we get the nice ball or ab crunch area, so you get some lean back motion like so. Get some forward, and I'm trying to hold it down here because there is the ball down there as well. So technically all this all together, you could get crazy lean back, you know, as her face is super bright because of the light. But yeah, lots of lean back, not as much lean forward, because when you do that, it does actually gap up a little bit. Then she's got this like harder plastic, but with like a rubber diaper for her waist, and her hips do drop down. But as you can see, like one of my hips, and that's sort of because how these sort of work, but like one hip is sort of gapped a little bit more. But she can overall, what the heck? So this is weird too. let me zoom out here so you can really see the angle of this. So I'm doing the splits, and you can sort of see how the legs are. Like one actually can go up higher than the other one, and that's because of that weird gap. So when I bring them back down, you can see they already dropped. So you just push them back down. But I still have a weird, I don't know, it looks like it's a weird gap on this side, like this hip's pushed out further. We get the thigh cut, which I'm not a fan of. Double jointed knees. We get boot cut where the boot is, which is great. Ankle bend is sort of there. Try it on this foot. Yeah, it's definitely there. Tons of pivot. I would just like to point out, because I know when this figure came out, a lot of people are like, there's no room for all the weapons, and I'm sure some reviewers figured out, but we got the one knife sheath right on the front. That one's obvious. It's painted red in case you can't find it. And then on the back, we got the spots for the other knives. And really, you know, anybody that was saying that there's no room or didn't have it, you can really see the design is there for two knives. You see the sheaths. Scarlet is a decent figure. Sculpt wise, it's there. The really lackluster part I feel like with this figure is her articulation, because she doesn't have bicep swivels or that double jointed elbow, so you really can't get that crossbow up where I would want it to really use the optics. But I mean, you can get her to sort of hold it like this. But I mean, it definitely would make a big difference if we had some sort of cuts, or if these butterfly joints that I didn't mention, because they technically they're sculpted as if there's butterfly joints, but they really don't do much up here. I mean, I understand, like, they're smaller. I don't know. But, like, I would have loved to have, like, gotten her arms straight, been able to, like, maybe use the butterfly joint to bring it over, you know, but you can't. So you really are just dealing with, that fell off. But you're just dealing with the rotating wrist and the swivel for the elbow. And again, those butterflies that are in there don't really do anything. I posed up Scarlet, sort of have that little bit of walk with the two knives in her hand, like she's going to mess somebody up, and it looks pretty badass. Now, when I was putting the knives in the hands, oh man, I was going to flip out. The blades, like the plastic in the knife sort of gave as I was trying to put it in the hands, because the fingers are so tight and the plastic they use for the hands are so freaking hard. It made the blades bend on both of them. Luckily, no permanent bends, no stress fractures or stress marks. Thank goodness for that. And this hand right here doesn't have a trigger finger, so if you're equipping any sort of crossbow or gun, it's only going to be going in that one if you want her to have the actual trigger finger through the trigger hole. And you know what bugs me too is, like, you can sheath all these knives. Why did they have like an attachment or someplace to sort of sheath up her crossbow? Maybe you don't want it in her hands. Maybe you just want it on her back. Like, they should have gave us that option. They were so close. And, you know, what really, for this figure, I love the design. I love the head sculpt. The articulation on this figure is what is mind-boggling. I'm glad I honestly, I should have did this one first, then the Baroness one, because I probably would have hyped that even more, because I feel like they improved quite a bit compared to this figure to Baroness. She's a mixed martial artist and a soldier. She hangs and runs with Snake Eyes. Why limit her articulation so much to where she can't do some crazy ninja stances and stuff like that? I mean, we're going to get Jinx eventually. And I hope they don't give us this type of articulation. They got to work on these female figures, in my opinion, because her lacking of articulation is really what is holding this figure from being a great or amazing figure. This is a good figure. It's a welcome addition to your G.I. Joe 6-inch collection. You can get her into some basic poses that will look good and good for fig photography, but if you're wanting to go super dynamic or have her rolling with Snake Eyes is going to leave her in the dust. I mean, he would anyway, but still, like, Snake Eyes in general, the figure is a lot more articulated. And they give us butterfly joints that didn't really work with this figure. It's just, that's the articulation's the bummer part. Out of this whole thing, that is the main focus that I want to bring to the table, is the articulation on this figure is so lacking and could have been done better. And, but, you know, so I say don't pay more than retail for this figure. If you can get it on clearance, definitely do it, but do not pay more than retail. So that sums up my unboxing and review of G.I. Joe Classified Series Scarlet. If you guys like what you saw, hit that thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, hit that subscribe button. If you're watching my content and you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button for me. It'll mean the world to me. And make sure, if you guys want to get notifications when I post up a new video, hit that silver bell notification. And make sure you guys check out Nate's Toys and Collectibles. The link is down below. You can see all these little goodies that he has going up. And that's where I'm getting my Black Series, my G.I. Joes from, if it's not an exclusive. So, I mean, definitely a good place to check it out. And I want you guys to have the best luck hunting, keep on collecting, and have a beautiful day.